the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Friends, family, community, people watching out for each other, people watching out for customers, looking out for the best in everyone. And it's not hard to find the best in everyone when everybody's doing it. Employees, their value and what they mean to us here at Barber Ford, the fact that they would invest that much of their life and their time in Barber Ford just goes to show how much they're engaged in not only what we do, but why we do it, our core values, our community impact, our community involvement.
In 2016, we were contacted by Barber Ford to find out how they could better support members in our community through the American Cancer Society and through a one-of-a-kind give back program. We have been honored to receive the largest gift that anyone has ever donated to the American Cancer Society from Barber Ford.
Kids Food Basket is a community-based organization that is committed to attacking childhood hunger. We are so grateful for the support of Barber Ford in helping us to attack childhood hunger. They have been an amazing partner, helping by providing food donations, financial donations, and importantly also time. Barber Ford employees come and spend time to help us prepare the meals that we give these children for the nourishment that they need.
Giving back to different organizations throughout the community, it's something where it means a lot to us when we see employees that we work with every day go to the next level as far as their giving back. It's not just about the dealership, but it's about the employees giving back as well. We like, as a dealership, that's one of our core values as far as responsible financial success and giving back, but we can't do that unless the employees have bought into that 100%. And when they see that they're giving back, it's a great feeling. Everybody comes back and it's all different departments and it's everybody doing it together, so they have fun, but they're leaving an impact somewhere, and that's really neat to see.
A new season begins on the high banks of Daytona International Speedway. A new season with new drivers, new paint schemes, and a new league here for PTR TV. As I said, hit the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway for what is going to be 80 laps worth of action here tonight at the World Center of Racing for the Dreamer Racing Series. We're going to be bringing 15 races of action to you guys here over the next couple months, so you'll want to stay tuned for some exciting truck action, and all starts here at Daytona. So giving you the calls is going to be myself, Corey Silva. I will be manning the cameras, of course, with my longtime colleague Evan Black. Do want to give a shout out to Track Cams for Gourmets for our cameras here tonight. But I mean, Evan, you think of a season opener for any series, first thing you do think of is Daytona International, and that's where we are in the trucks, and we know what kind of show these things can put on here.
Yeah, Daytona is just a great place to get the season started. That's what real life NASCAR, that's what they do. That's what most leagues do here on iRacing. Just kind of starts the whole season off with a bang. A good race here at Daytona always kind of helps your season to take off, and it's going to be a great one tonight. Like you said, Corey, these trucks here are going to be a blast to watch. These trucks probably have one of the best, if not the best, drafting packages here on iRacing, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that was probably the definitive statement up until recently with the new build for the Monster Energy Cup machines. But again, these trucks are going to be 2-3 wide. The suck up is going to be right there. They're going to get that run. They're going to be just all over the place, have the ability to put those things wherever they want them, and of course, that leads to the chaoticness we usually do see here at Daytona. So hopefully the big one will kind of pass us by here tonight. We do have a lot of good drivers in the league, and there's a lot of protocol in the league, Evan, that we'll talk about over the course of the season to help promote that clean racing atmosphere. But we are wrapping up qualifying now. A couple cars, or trucks rather, still are on the track, but within 30 seconds, we will be shifting over to the grid. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming here to PTR TV for the Dreamer Racing Series here tonight. Again, 15 races of action. We'll be covering you, I want to say, till early to mid-September with this 15 race campaign, taken to a whole bunch of tracks in the schedule, so it's going to definitely be a good time. And of course, to everyone on Facebook right now, as Facebook Live dual streaming we are for this race. So again, this is the countdown. We are getting ready. These guys are getting ready for the grid, and let's bring it to you right now. It's going to be the PTR TV starting lineup here from the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway. On the pole here tonight with a lap time of 50.064. It's going to be Doug Lemons in the DRS Express Toyota Tundra. Chris Canfield on the outside of the front row. We have Blake Neer in third, Mark Love in fourth, Robbie Audi in fifth, Tyler Justice in sixth, and then seventh and eighth is Ryan Matthews and Brandon Holder. Evan.
And rolling off in the 9th position, we have the 61 of James Milbachler. In 10th, we have Ryan Blankard. In 11th, Gabriel Wood. 12th, Perry Snelson. 13th, Grant Brown. 14th, Brad Neer. And then Jimmy Mullis and Brent Keith rolling off in 15th and 16th, Corey.
And then heading on back through the starting lineup here, we have John Houston in 17th, Devin Morgan in 18th. In the 19th spot, Troy Cook and Doc Stout rolling off in the 20th spot. Dustin Slider in 21st, Ryan Campbell in 22nd. Alex Bailey in 23rd, and then Rob Slider in the 24th position.
And then rest of the field in 25th, we have Sean Powell, 26th, David Greenslet, 27th, Tyler King, and 28th. Round of the field, we have Frank Morales.
All right, so that is going to be our starting lineup here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. Some little bit of information on the race status that we have, the race analysis more specifically. It is an open setup league, and one thing we will notice, this league is very team oriented. You'll be able to see as the you catch all the paint schemes as they do fly by on these trucks. So you'll see a lot of team action, a lot of drivers likely with similar if not identical setups in those machines. And just in terms of what we can do tonight, I'd say about 35 laps on fuel, and I don't personally expect tires to be too much of a factor here tonight, Evan.
Yeah, tires won't be too of a factor, especially with this race being ran at night. But yeah, like you said, probably about 35 laps, so probably going to be a 2-stop race here tonight. And then if we see some cautions, that could kind of shake things up a little bit, but I expect to see a lot of green flag racing here tonight.
Yeah, I do expect that to be the case, Evan, as I kind of talked about with this league. And there's some measures in place as we'll get through over the course of the season to really Oh, that camera does not work for the new grandstands. That is put into place to really facilitate clean racing. So I really expect these guys to be going clean and green for a good portion of the race. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but, you know, Evan, I think we have a couple final tidbits for tonight's race we want to share.
Yeah, so we got the keys to the race here tonight, and number one is survival. You can't win if you don't make it to that last lap, and especially here at Daytona, survival is going to be a major factor. Just trying to stay safe, but also keep all the track position you can. And then, like we talked before, only being able to go about 35 laps. There are going to be some green flag stops, and you could not know when the guys in front of you are going to come down and pit, so you need to be ready to come with them or avoid them if they don't call out when they're coming. And then in the final 10-15 laps of this race, you're going to need to make sure that you are in the right lane at the right time, because a lot of times it's not about what you do, it's about just being in the right lane that's going to move.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck on the inside if that's not the right line to be. You need to be in a position where you can make a move if you need to do that. But here we come off of corner number 4. The season is becoming underway. The pace car is in. We're going to wait for that green flag. And here we are, season of Dreamer Racing Series underway.
And that DRS Express Motorsports Toyota up there is going to be leading the field here, but he's got a couple teammates lined up on his outside. Going to try and get by him, and it looks like they are going to be able to, as that 70 machine does not have any help behind him for the moment. We'll see out of turn 2. He is starting to get a little bit of help here now, but that outside lane is a bit better formed right now.
Yes, it is. 2 to the top, kind of tandeming on the outside of the racetrack. The inside lane is still starting to formulate. It looks like it is getting rather populated down there. Still only the tandem up top of the 03 and the 14 of Blake Neer, and that SMS machine, the 2 SMS drivers rocking the top of the racetrack right now. And look at that 14 kind of ducking out of line just a little bit. Not sure if he's just bobbling or trying to get some air, but it looks like the 70 is going to clear both lines off of 4.
70 of Doug Lemons is going to clear, with the 03 of Canfield is getting a better run down the front straight. We're not going to get it at the line, but he's starting to pull ahead just a little bit at his door now, and almost even entering turn 1. I think that outside lane is going to be preferred if we can get enough drivers up there and get them to work together good enough. But for the moment, that inside lane led by Doug Lemons is the place to be.
Yeah, as we go on board right now with Blake Neer in the number 14 machine, you can see the push he is given the 03 of, and it's something we see in many official races on iRacing, is that top guy dropping to the bottom as soon as he's cleared. Just kind of leaving that guy out to dry on the outside. But when we have teammates up there, I expect those guys to be working together for as long as they can.
Yeah, and Canfield almost had an opportunity to get down in front of Lemons there out of turn 2, actually entering turn 3 there, but could not quite clear him. And even if he did clear, I don't think he's going to want to leave his teammate up there right now. As you can see, once again, Canfield almost clear into 1, almost clear, so close out of turn 2, but I think he is going to stay up there as long as he can.
Yes, he is. And we have I saw a driver on the outside lane there kind of duck into what almost looked like the third lane, and a little early in the race, lap 3 out of lap 80. We are 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. That's the 96 machine. Can't quite tell there from the angle. Looked like the 96 machine took a peek 3 wide in the middle, but we did go back double file on now a little bit further back. That's Gabe Wood in the 00 SMS machine. He's out top 3 wide, dropping to the back.
Yeah, he got shuffled out by that 97 there, and got shuffled all the way to the back of that outside lane, so he's going to have to kind of work his way up through this field, which it shouldn't be too tough to do. But right now, 2 of his teammates are up at the front, so he's not going to have many friends back there.
Yeah, but I mean, as you say, getting to the front a little bit easy, but I do remember us being in a league race here at Daytona, I want to say, in the trucks, and especially Daytona of all places, when you're in a 2x2 situation all the way through, as we'll go back to James Milbacher in the 61, go on board with him. Look what he sees right now. He's stuck on the inside. It's 2x2. Daytona's, it's a really tight squeeze, forcing a 3 wide here at Daytona. So when you're in that spot, say the 61 is in, you really can't do anything effectively.
Yeah, I usually don't like being down on the inside lane, because you really just kind of get trapped down there. You got someone on your outside, you can't move up to make it 3 wide if you wanted to, and so I usually don't like being on the bottom, but a lot of times you have no choice and you just have to kind of ride there and wait to get clear. But it does look like Chris Canfield did go to the lead. He left his teammate Blake Neer up there, now leading the outside lane. And side by side, dead even down the backstretch for the lead.
Yeah, that number 12 machine of Canfield to the inside. And as you said, the 14 of his teammate of Blake Neer to the top of the racetrack, guys. Just at home, if you're paying attention, it does say 12 on the ticker, but the truck says 03 on the leader, so that threw me off just a little bit. But just for clarification, that 03 is now your leader, his teammate of Blake Neer to the outside. And now they're going to be 2 by 2, and I say, look at Evan on the back of the pack. That inside lane really has lost all of its help. Only 4 trucks down there. Everyone kind of trying to run the Dale Jr. line, just running the top.
Yeah, kind of weird to see everyone get shuffled up to the top lane here in iRacing. I see if you guys going 3 wide there, further back in the pack, led by the 51 of Ryan Matthews, and getting loose and cars around.
Yep, that is the number 51 around, the number 74 around. That's about 6 to 7 drivers involved in a little mini big one. The second pack coming through, still having drivers spinning around. That was the 13 of Rob Slider. He was in the second pack, still got caught in it. So gonna have to go on replay again. Lap number 7, we have our first incident of the evening. We got to go back up front. It looks like it was the 31, I want to say, got turned. The 51, rather, Ryan Matthews.
51. Looks like him and his teammate Milbacher were just working together. 3 of those teammates lined up top. And
little bump draft from the
a little bit.
Bump draft with the 61, and that just sent him around. And as you said, it was even incident after the fact. That second pack coming through, and somebody got in the back of the 13 and sent the 13 spinning around. I think Rob Slider was I think he avoided any kind of damage, but did go around there as a secondary incident. But it'll put us under the first caution of the race on lap number 7, and gives us the opportunity to kind of debrief a little bit. I mean, again, with the open setups and again, new season, new drivers, you kind of learn a little bit of where everyone's going to be, what everyone's capable of doing, who you may want to run with, who you kind of feel comfortable doing aggressive moves with. But we'll see if anybody does tend to pit road here. Taking lap number 8. See a couple with the fake. That's Lemons with the fake. And then looks
Tower
like
Justice come down.
Yeah, about 5th on back, heading down pit road. And I do see one machine smoking there.
John Houston having some issues.
Yeah, that's going to be terminal damage for Houston, as everyone does come down to pit road. And at this point, Evan, I mean, you're going to fill up. I mean, I'd have to imagine you're going to be filling up with fuel. You're going to, I mean, take tires. You're on pit road. You may as well. And the only thing that this does is if we do have a green flag run, this is going to separate it out, where the pit stops are going to happen a little bit later for some, a little bit earlier for another, split up the packs. And of course, if it goes all the way to the end, then alternate fuel strategies get to be very interesting, but still very early in the race to start calling that out. But you never know what can happen.
Yeah, if we go all the way to the end, these guys that pitted now, they might be able to make it on just one more stop.
Yeah, lap 45 or so, they'd have to come back in, and that'd be 35 laps to the end.
And then the guys that did not pit would definitely have to make 2 more stops. But that's another 72 laps out, so a lot can happen. We could have some more cautions. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, now that we have a little more time, as I'm kind of getting some feedback on this, the number, it is a new feature in iRacing, and sometimes it works better than others depending on how well it was, prepped behind the scenes. But the number 12 of Chris Canfield is actually visually the number 03, so we're us in the booth, we're looking at the telemetry data that says 12, so just if you see that mismatch, 12, 03, 03, 12, just put it together, because I know I'm probably going to screw it up, but
12 equals 03.
12 equals 03. Yeah, well, somewhere we will make that math be a thing. And then as a technicality part 2, my camera set for this track is not necessarily built for the new grandstand, so if there is a camera that goes behind a grandstand, I will talk to the appropriate people, and we will get that adjusted. Remember, the Daytona Rising project added to iRacing not too long ago, where we obviously have that absolutely humongous stadium grandstand on the front straightaway, and then on the back stretch, that grandstand is gone, and we just have that line of billboards. So, again, apologies for any obstructed view seats. If anybody's gone to any baseball games at Fenway Park, you know what I mean with obstructed view seat, but we'll do the best we can to get around that as we head down the back straightaway here. We have 24 drivers still on the lead lap. It's Ryan Matthews, John Houston, and Alex Bailey, all with significant damage right now, getting repaired. There are no fast repairs, Evan, so they're going to have to get out there at least to try to pass each other in the standings if they can.
Yeah, I think Houston might be the only one that has terminal damage. The other drivers, I think, have enough damage that it is going to take them out of the contention for the win, but Houston, I know his engine expired. I'm not sure about the other two, but I know they're going to try and get back out there and try and get at least a few more spots if they can. So we'll see if they can do so.
We will indeed see what does the pace car decide to do for us. The lights do go out, and this being as the pace laps are so long, I do want to kind of give everyone feedback as to, I mentioned a couple times in the league the protocol in place to help promote clean racing, and as everyone who does know iRacing, which most everyone watching the stream, obviously you're either a fan of iRacing or at least a fan of it from a friend who is iRacing, you know about the incident system we have. So there's actually they call it the insurance policy, where you pay X amount of dollars towards your policy, and every time you get an incident, you get a deduction of X amount of cents from that kind of deposit you put down. So technically, long story short, if you wreck or you get wrecked or any kind of incident comes your way, it comes out of, it's basically a monetary punishment for it. So that's why I was kind of on the impression that I really expect some green flag racing because, well, I don't want to pay to wreck, so I'm gonna, if that's me, I'm gonna put myself in a good position and not put myself in a position where I could be in an incident, if avoidable, of course.
So hopefully we will be able to get some good green flag laps in here. Hopefully get some green flag pit stops or two. And we shall see how this race will all play out with those drivers coming down pit road a few laps ago and a few staying out. Looks like the top 5 stayed out, but the pace car getting ready to pull down on the pit road. There it goes, now waiting for Camfield to get us back underway. And green flag back in the air, and we're back underway here at Daytona.
Yes, we are. That number 12/03 machine is going to lead him down into corner number 1, and he's going to have the help from Lemons in the number 70 machine. That number 70 is going to give him the push. That 14 and the 43 of Near and Love are going to be side by side for third, and we'll just wait to see which line is going to get more organized. It has been the top thus far, but we'll see. That inside lane seems to be more populated off the restart.
But here comes the outside lane with a massive run down the backstretch led by Blake Near. Now 2 more drivers out there behind them, but Near able to get up to the right rear quarter panel of Canfield through 3 and 4. We'll see if he can get a good enough run out of turn 4 here down the front stretch. Maybe try and get the lead at the stripe. It looks like he might.
Yeah,
it's pretty close here at the line.
We will see. It looks like it is going to be the 03 at the stripe. The 14 is going to be behind to the outside just by a few thousandths of a second, and I think that's Blanchard in the 99 up top. The 99 is showing up as a different number on the ticker, so yeah, it is Blanchard in the 99. It looks like we have 3 trucks to the outside, a whole bunch to the inside. That outside is going to need a lot more help, and as we go look back, Evan, that outside is not going to have a lot of help. The back end of this pack is really separated.
Yeah, I don't know if that's from damage. I don't think that's from damage. I think that's just kind of by design. They're just trying to lay off a little bit. It looks like about a 10-car breakaway here at the front of the pack, and at the stripe it is going to be Blake Near going to be leading this lap. He's clear of the 0-3 to the inside if he wants it, but he's going to stay up in the outside lane with that 99 pushing him. And pretty even right now, about 4 trucks on the inside and 4 trucks on the outside, and then about a 10 truck length gap back to the second pack.
Yeah, that second pack, I believe it is led by the 112 machine of Devin Morgan. He is about a half second off the back bumper of Robbie Oddie, who is the last driver in that front pack, when we have 7 drivers in that pack. And then we'll go even further back. Rob Slater, remember, he was in that little spin there on that caution, leading a third pack of drivers, and that pretty much is the 22 drivers that are still up to speed in the race so far. But up front, they're still 2 by 2 by 2, 9 trucks up there going at it, and it does look like that number 03 of Canfield, he has led pretty much most every lap. Hasn't really been many lead changes thus far, so that inside's getting it at the stripe, but that outside just waiting, Evan. Here they come, kind of lining up top. Inside only has 2 now.
Yeah, but that second pack is starting to catch up to this lead pack. And once again, the 14 of Blake Neer is clear to the inside. We're going to stay up there still as the 99 getting a bit loose behind him. It's going to allow the inside to pull ahead once again. And yeah, that second pack is definitely closing in.
Yeah, and just look at Evan. Again, we talked about it. You see it in the real world. Everyone, they call it running the Dale Jr. line. The inside, nobody wants to be down there. I don't really have much of an explanation for it. Depending, maybe it's the setup, maybe it's just the grip right now at the moment, but everyone's kind of just gravitating to the top of the racetrack as we're almost 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, the 99 getting shuffled out there, as well as Blake Neer. Now everyone's on the inside.
Yeah, the 99, again, as another oddity, the 99, you will see him in the ticker, is the number 5 of Ryan Blanchard.
Chris Canfield getting shuffled out as Doug Lemons goes to the lead.
Yeah, Lemons, remember, he started in the pole on the number 1 spot, and that number 7, he got shuffled back. Now he's going to get himself back to the front. To the outside is the 61 machine of James Milbacher, and he's going to try to get it done with we're going around.
Canfield going around. Collects the 43 and a few others.
That's going to be the second caution of the race. We'll go back on replay and try to figure out what happened. Let's go from the chopper, and we're headed into turn number 1. Looks like there was some guy on the top of the racetrack, and he got loose.
Yeah, he just got loose on corner entry there.
Yeah, we'll try to go on board with Canfield. Yeah, he just flat got loose.
Yeah, he just turned into the corner and the back end wanted to come around on him.
Again, remember, open setup series here, so that's all
we're going to see with some drivers having some handling issues. With it being an open setup, that kind of creates more possibility for that.
Yeah, just as some knowledge of the weather, I mean, it is kind of standard conditions. Well, there is a pretty significant wind, Evan, from the southeast, so I mean, that's 15 or so mile an hour wind, so maybe that has something to do with what got him kicked out. But behind the pace car, I mean, I only see 7-8 trucks behind the pace car right now, Evan, so
a lot of guys coming down pit road to get some fuel and tires. Looks like quite a few trucks do have some damage right now.
Yeah, we have, as we come off of 4, everyone is, the pit road is formally open right now. Everyone finally just getting caught up for the leaders to have the opportunity to pit. Remember, only 5 drivers stayed out the first time, so the rest of them are going to have to come down pit road this time because they did not have the fuel, because this is going to be the first time that many of them have pitted. So here we come down pit road, and I expect a lot of damage repair to occur. And I expect some extended pit stops. And who is that? Completely missed his pit stop. Someone, I think it was Robbie Oddie. But here comes Lemons out of his pit stall. He
Just 2 tires of that machine.
Yeah, which just, it's kind of surprising after we saw a handling issue. Maybe I would have thought 4 tires would have been the case, but...
Actually, I think it was even just fuel only.
Well, I guess that will hurt handling, because it won't hurt the balance of the machine at all, but this is the second caution of the race. We're going to step aside for a brief side-by-side break, and we're going to be back with you in just a moment, so please stay with us here on PTR TV.
Before you can get on track, you'll need to calibrate your wheel and pedal set. You'll need to do this in iRacing even if you have already done this using your own controller software. Prior to entering the sim, make sure you've downloaded and installed the latest drivers from the manufacturer's website. Once that's done, follow these easy steps to calibrate your controller. We recommend calibrating in a test session, so pick a car and then click test. Don't go in.
And we're back here on PTR TV after the second caution of the race. Pace car has turned the lights off, so it's going to be 1 to go here. And Doug Lemon's back where he started off. He is going to be leading the field down after a fuel-only pit stop. And again, we have had a good amount of drivers right now on pit road. I think we have 18 drivers behind the pace car right now, Evan, and the better part of about 10 drivers on pit road getting some serious repairs done.
Yeah, everyone did come down pit road that time, and everyone except for Doug Lemons did take 4 tires, so that'll be interesting to see if that does come into play here after a few more laps, if the handling will start to go away on that 70 machine. So that's just going to be one more thing for us to look out for.
Again, we talk about 35 lap fuel load, so that takes us to about lap 55. So basically, however you want to stretch it, it should be a one-stop race, at least from requirement standpoints, from this juncture on. So Not too much in the way of strategy there, but we'll see again if this race does go green, if we have some more cautions. I think we are pretty thinned out with the field, so I think we may be able to get this thing with a long green stretch, but we'll see what happens. Pace car is in, and we are back. Green flag racing.
And Douglas is almost going to clear, now is clear of that 96 of Mullis, and now Mullis can get in line behind him. Blake Neer leading that outside lane now. And pretty even split top to bottom. Maybe a few more trucks up top, but they're a bit further back.
That's Jimmy Mullis in the number 96, I believe, the Motes Auto Exchange machine. He's going to the outside, trying to get by. Lemons has the push up top from Milbacher in the number 61 machine. Let's see if he's going to be able to clear entering 3. Yes,
Top
he is.
2 clear.
Oh my God, where the 70 has no help on the inside.
Top 3 clear right now. Are they going to stay up in the middle lane? It looks like they are going to, at least for the moment. 61 Milbacher thinking about going down to the inside lane, but going to stay behind Mullis and give him the push. Top 3. Now they're kind of just thinking about moving down to the bottom. Now they are down to the bottom. It's only one truck up front leading the outside lane, and now he's back down to the bottom. Yeah, that 14 and Near, he was working with Gabe Wood, those two SMS machines up there, and expected them to work together, but that 14 needed to get in line, so he chose to ditch Wood, but luckily he's still in a decent position as we go back to kind of now a separated pack, if you will. And we have a little bit of a gap back to the 112 of Devin Morgan. Only a couple truck lengths, that is, so he should have no problem getting to the back bumper. In fact, he already is there, so that it kind of brings the lead pack total up to about 12. Everyone now right on the inside of the track. And Evan, this is the kind of the point in a super speedway race where I think people have seen the wrecks. They may even have been involved and have some slight damage themselves. This is usually the point mid-race where everyone kind of just, chugs some laps out and gets by. And we kind of see, a little bit more patience, but I mean, that usually is what happens, but we'll see what happens with these guys tonight. Yeah, as you can see, most of the field single file now. Still a couple trucks up there in the outside of the lane. Looks like Gabe Wood and Tyler King, a couple of SMS teammates, but now getting back in line. See, pretty much all the field single file now. A couple of trucks now moving up to the outside lane. The 112 of Devin Morgan moving up there, but he has no help. So he's going to be dropping to the rear of this train.
Yeah, Devin Morgan in that number 112, he is definitely going to be out to lunch right now in that Barber Racing Ford that he is in. Wood is going to go up there to try to help him out, and I see another SMS truck right behind him. SMS is in full force here tonight. That is the 02 of Tyler King. It's going to be 3 trucks working the outside, but I don't think that's going to be enough, Evan. But if there is one thing I can say about the inside, they are not locked bumpers. There's a lot of room in between these trucks, which does give that opportunity to get a big run going if you lock bumpers.
Like this run they got right here.
Exactly.
And here comes Blake Neer, another SMS truck moving up to the outside lane. 112 trying to go 3 wide.
Look at the
what
heavy.
What are the other SMS trucks going to do?
Look at the heavy damage on the back end of that number 112 truck. I wonder if that is going to slow him down. Devin Morgan, that is, but. I mean, he's obviously holding good in line now, but we know when you have a lot of damage, a lot of times it hinders your ability to make a run, although you can stay in line. So he's going to have to kind of keep that in mind as he does try to go through the race. But up front, they are kind of becoming door-to-door. Once again, the 14 and Near with the push from Morgan is going to go and pull door-to-door within inches. And that 4th truck rather, on the outside lane of Tyler King really having a hard time closing to the back of Wood.
Now Blake Neer is going to nose ahead down the back straightaway. Actually, he is going to clear entering turn 3, but is he going to stay up on the outside lane with the 112? As the 112 gets a bit loose through the center 3 and 4, it looks like Neer is going to stay up there in the outside lane for now. 112 might be trying to split him. He was kind of looking to the outside, now looking to the inside of him. They're going to stay in line for the moment.
Yeah, just, try, like I said, try to kind of just take some time here. There's no need to make any aggressive moves. We still aren't even halfway in this race, so just kind of get yourself going, get by, and just do what you need to do just to chug some laps out. We do have 9 drivers in this pack, and just to give some showing to everybody else on the track right now, it's Brandon Holder in the number 16 machine. He is leading that second pack of 4 drivers: Brent Keith, Brad Neer, and Ryan Campbell. Those are about 2.5 seconds behind the lead. Then we have a little mini pack: Grant Brown, Frank Morales, and Rob Slider. Slider has had an interesting evening in that Barber Ford, and then we go back to... Actually, that's pretty much it. It's just damaged trucks from there on, but we'll go back up front, and it is still neck to neck up there. Everyone just right on each other's door, as we do have slower traffic coming up as well.
Yeah, one lap truck up there. Looks like he's going to stay up high. No, going down to the bottom now. There's the 21 of Troy Cook going a lap down in that auto exchange machine.
Yeah, but Mullis definitely has that push from the number 61 of Milbacher. He definitely is not afraid to lock bumpers and get that tandem going, but he got a little bit free on the entry there. I think he clipped the apron, did that 61 on the entry at 3, and that really got him loose for that entire corner. Kind of lost that lock he had on the back bumper of the 96, and here he's going to go to the outside. I think he's trying to get air, but the best way to do that is get the lead in the process. Here he comes with a push from the 14 and near, trying to get that lead. Will he clear to the bottom? No, he won't. He'll stay up top door to door.
Third truck in the line up there looking to the outside. That's Gabe Wood. That's going to kind of break up the outside lane's momentum. That's going to allow Jimmy Mullis to pull ahead once again. There's only 2 trucks up there in the outside lane. Now 3 up there. Yeah, I think Gabe Wood just going to need to get some air on the nose of that truck.
Just think of it as a game of tug of war. The more you have on one side, the better of a chance you're going to have to pull it in your favor. When you lose somebody, that other side of the tug of war is just going to have that power to do what they need to do. And obviously the outside, they've lost all of their partners, and everyone is just discombobulated up there. Again, they could just be trying to get air. They just maybe just don't want to make that run after all, just deciding to, again, play with the patience card for the time being. It could very well be an option, as we are, again, only on lap number 30, so we're estimating between 20 and 30 laps at this point. 4 pit stops, so I mean, it's never to say, oh here we go, 61 around.
That might not bring out a caution.
Yeah, Milbacher.
He's down towards the inside wall.
Yeah, when you are well off the racing surface like that, the iRacing flagman will more often than not just let it slide. But let's go on the replay and try to see what happened to Milbacher in the 61. He's that gold and white truck on the outside lane, and a little bit of contact there, and just right around he went onto the Daytona super stretch. That's why it's all paved down there. Gives you the opportunity to save it. So he is going to be in good condition, but just not in terms of having no draft partner and just running by himself.
But still battling up front. Blake Neer now leading that outside lane with a push from the 112. And Jimmy Mullis still leading inside with help from Doug Lemons here, entering turn 3. Neer back to the door of Mullis. Mullis now going to pull ahead and clear through turns number 3 and 4. But out of the 2, I believe that outside lane is going to have a good run.
Yeah, the outside does have 4 right now. Oh, I don't know what that was. Sorry about that. The outside does have 4 people. The inside does have 4, so it's going to be even. Usually when it's even like this, the inside is going to have the advantage just based on the track geometry right now. So shorter distance around, you have that equal run, so you should be able to get that advantage. And it does look like everyone's kind of dropping out of that outside lane and going back to the inside, going single file. And this may, just as I say that, that's the 70 of Lemons going to the outside once again, rather the 112 of Morgan, excuse me.
Now a couple more SMS trucks up there in the outside lane, so 4 trucks up in the outside once again. We'll see if they can get a bit better run this time.
Yeah, at this point, Evan, it's really going to be hard. Again, they have to sway the numbers in their favor, and we only have an even number of drivers in this pack being 8, so naturally, if it's 4 on 4, as I said, the inside is going to be where the momentum is. So you're going to kind of have an uphill battle at this point, but you never know if you kind of play the side draft the right way, or you just get enough of a surge off of the guy behind you. Sometimes you can clear, which the 112 has given that 14 a really good push, just not enough to really go anywhere. And Gabe Wood is trying to do the best he can to push all 3 of them along. The inside really isn't formed that well, but you can see Gabe Wood have to pull away just to get some air, and that loses that run.
Yeah, and then the last guy in line there from the outside, Taylor King, looks like he just cannot get up and stay on Gabe Wood's bumper, and that's definitely going to be hurting them a little bit. I don't know if that's just with his setup or if he's not wanting to get on his bumper this early, but that is definitely holding the outside lane back.
Now, on the SMS2 machine is Tyler King. And Evan, I do think, again, just kind of going back to the fact that this is an open setup league, and I mean, obviously, there's a lot of teams in play, so I have a feeling there's a lot of similar setups in onto these machines, but there are subtle differences. There are setups that will suck up and, you know, lead a draft better, and there are also setups that will, you know, be better in traffic, and I really am kind of keen to think that 0-2 just isn't as good pulling up and sucking up to a pack. Maybe he'd be better leading it, because remember, he's been struggling with this for quite a while now.
He's just kind of hanging there at the tail end of the pack, and part of that could be by design. He could just be wanting to stay out of it.
That
so
could
it's
very
kind of hard to know.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see later on as we are approaching the halfway point. But again, we still have one more set of pit stops to go through. So again, at Daytona, 40 laps. I mean, you really don't start planning your final countdown move until probably 15 to go. That's where you really start planning where you want to be, as we said in our keys to the race earlier. The right lane at the right time. You don't want to be stuck in a position. We'll take a driver as an example right now, Robbie Audi in that 44. He's a driver who's stuck right now. He can't go high, he can't go low. He's literally at mercy of, well, actually, he's not going anywhere. Low. He's going for a ride through the grass. That's where Robbie Audi's going. And he's still not done.
Well, Corey, he went low.
He went low. The PTR TV Good Hands of the Race Award, which I just made up on the fly, is going to go to the number 44, Robbie Audi. Go try to see what happened to him. We were kind of following him. He followed the 70.
And Doug Lemons both just kind of got down on the apron. And at that point, you know, you got a vehicle on your outside kind of pinching you down, taking a bit of air off of your right side. They can get a bit loose there. Especially getting down on the apron. Yeah, when you are in that, and just the pure sake of, you know, visual cues, when you're that close to the back of someone's bumper. You can see where the apron is. Yeah, you're just hoping that guy in front of you is leading you on a clean path, and in the case of Lemons, he led him to a path of clipping the apron, so 70 was able to save it. Well, they both were able to save it. Well, the 70 wasn't having to make evasive maneuvers, if I can get that phrase out. But for Audi in the 44, he's still in pristine condition. Maybe a little bit of dirt on that truck now. But again, he is now kind of in the same boat of the 61. 61 lost all that track position. He's found himself some drafting partners in the form of Slider and Morales back there. But Audi now 5-6 seconds back. The next trucks he is going to come into interaction with is going to be that 61, which is 24 seconds behind him. See, at this point, Audi is just hoping for a caution, which at the moment we're kind of mostly single file, except for Blake Kinnear and the 112 of Morgan up there in the outside lane. So at this point, it doesn't really look like we are going to see another caution, at least not for a little while, as stuff has kind of calmed down.
Yeah, this is the point in the race where we, as that is Tyler Justice in the 7, losing some spots there to the inside lane. We kind of call it
around in 3 and 4, just down in the grass. That is Grant Brown. Trying to see what happened to him.
Oh, there he is. We'll go back on replay.
Something happened entering 3. I don't know if he got loose or what. That was weird.
He was just by himself, and
he just turned and then he hit around.
Who was that? The 32 machine, I think, expired an engine, hitting him right there.
Yeah, 32 of Brent Keith running in the 9th position in that second pack there. Just got into him, and that caused his engine to expire.
Yeah, just kind of go on board, and what you can see out of that number 32 glove box racing Silverado. Yeah, you just kind of you commit. You see the guy up there slow, you don't know which way to go, and the direction he chose was not the ideal one, and that's going to be his race right there. Yeah, that's 2 drivers, Evan, that we've saw pretty much by themselves just get loose on entry. These setups must really be to the extreme in terms of the handling package.
Yeah, probably really trimmed out, maybe not much air on that rear spoiler, which, yeah, it's going to create some speed, but it also could create you in the wall. So it's kind of the risk versus reward, what you want to do.
Yeah, again, going back to the other keys of the race we had before, we were talking about right lane, right time in regards to Rabiotti rather. And the other key of the race we had was survival, so you can't be in the right lane at the right time if you don't survive. So we've already had a lot of attrition thus far. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers who have already been in the garage for over 20 minutes, about 5 drivers who've been in the garage for at least 5 minutes. So currently up to speed, we still have 14 drivers in the field. So Daytona has kind of had its way with many of the fields here tonight. But we still have a lot to contest for up front. We're just now taking the halfway lap this time by. The halfway lap is going to go to Mullis.
By a pretty decent margin to Blake near up in that outside lane compared to what he has had. 4 trucks down on the inside, 3 up on the outside. Those SMS teammates up there in the outside lane trying to work together. Just again with that 0-2, he just cannot quite get to the back bumper of Gabe Wood, and I think that is definitely hurting them. But now only Blake Neer up there in the outside lane. His teammates have gone down to the bottom. So I think we could see a single file train down here on the bottom, maybe at least until we get to pit stops, and as soon as I say that, we got a couple more trucks on the outside lane.
Yeah, I think I don't see us actually going completely single file, but again, I would not be surprised to not see the intensity wind down entirely, but to kind of back itself down and just try to get at least until pit stops, Evan. But again, we're going to be covering, as we are at halfway, and kind of a little bit of a halfway summary at this point. We have completed 41 of the laps, as you can see on the ticker, 7 lead changes thus far, and 2 cautions have slowed us down, but we have been on about a 25 lap run, so a lot has been cleaning up here as the field is starting to dwindle. But Evan, you know, starting a season off, a lot of drivers, you say that Daytona, it's the wild card race to start the season. It is the start of the season, points are on the line, but obviously you want to win. But usually you always look forward to the next race in the schedule. You say that's the real first start of the season. And next week these guys go to Iowa, so quite a radical transition we're going to have next week. But that's definitely going to be a good one to look forward to.
Yeah, from the 2.5 mile high banks of Daytona down to the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway, and that's a good track to where you can really kind of just go there and kind of see what you have, see what you're going to have for the season, how competitive you're going to be. That's a very skill-based track. It is a kind of short-ish track. It's not really a short track, but it's shorter than most. So you can just really kind of just go out there and see what you're going to have for the rest of the season and how you're going to shape up.
And then just as I go through the schedule, it's almost a little bit of a short track season we have midway. We have we'll go to Iowa. We're going to go to Five Flag. We're going to go to the USA Speedway. Obviously a defunct track in the reality, but we have the historic version of it preserved here on iRacing. That's going to be a good one. We go to tracks such as Michigan. We'll go to Talladega, Texas, Lucas Oil. So go to Mossport even. So a very dynamic schedule in line for us here in this league this season. And obviously a couple plate tracks just to kind of test everyone's skill, test everyone's aggressiveness, patience, survival skills, all that kind of stuff, which is what we are in for tonight. And Mullis still leading, has led 22 of the laps here tonight. We are within 10 laps or so of pit stops, which will put us in the window to be able to go to the end of the race without worry. And it is 7 drivers in this lead pack. Then we go back to Brandon Holder, Brad Neer, and Ryan Campbell, rounding out your top 10 in the little second pack of 3. Rabiotti in 11th after his off-track excursion there, cruising along by himself. James Milbacher, Rob Slider, and Frank Morales are 12th through 14th. And then Evan, everybody else is in the pits or in the garage for the day.
Yeah, we've really had quite a bit of attrition here today, a bit more than what we expected. Only 7 trucks up there in that lead pack, but I think right about now they could probably come down pit road and make it to the end if they wanted to, but probably going to see them go pretty close to as far as they can, just in case a caution does come out. They don't want to get trapped a lap down or losing the draft or anything like that. So probably another, like you said, 5-10 laps, we'll start to see these guys come down and make their final stop for the race.
Yeah, and something that we usually see, Evan, is when we have a huge pack, we'll usually see them split it up because you don't really want to come down pit road with 10, 15, 20 trucks at a time. That's just a recipe for disaster. But when we have 7, I mean, I don't know if they are going to tag team it and all come down at the same time, but 7 trucks on pit road at the same time wouldn't be that chaotic. So they very well, all the leaders, could just coordinate a pit stop together and at the very least try to finish out the race with the 7-car pack for the win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they all came down around the same time, or maybe I think the SMS trucks, they have enough guys that just them could come down at the same time, but there's really not anyone else up there that has enough trucks in that group that they could just pit by themselves. Because there's only 2 Barber Ford trucks up there, and then everyone else is just kind of alone.
Yeah, and that's Troy Cook in the number 21 TI racing machine, and he is in the 15th position rather, and just some damage to that machine, only up to a top speed of 174, wasn't able to keep in the draft. These guys in the draft running about 190 to 193 depending where they are on the racetrack. But again, this is, as we show you guys at home, the stint graphic, and between 29 and 30 laps, 31 laps even, since the last stop. And again, our estimate, give or take, about 35 laps here tonight, so that is what we expect. So within this window, Evan, we are 32 laps to go, 33 or so. So no worries about going to the end. So it's just a matter at this point of when do you feel like pitting. And again, going back to our other key of the race, that green flag stop, you don't want to speed, you can't lock it up, you can't spin out, you can't mess up your stall, your entry into your stall, and then you can't mess up merging onto the back straightaway. So a lot of things can go wrong on a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, and especially now with that new blend line rule here on iRacing, it's been out for a couple builds now. It's just, especially, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue here, because I think you can pretty much go flat out across on the apron there, but you definitely do need to watch to make sure that you don't come up on the track too soon and get a penalty there. And then, like you said, speeding on pit road, it's very easy to do on pit entry here, because you're looking all around you to make sure that you don't run into the guys around you that you are pitting with, while also trying to slow down from 190 down to about 60.
As the leaders are single file, getting through one of the slower packs right now, just about to go a lap down. That is the company of Milbacher, Rob Slider, and Robbie Audi. Remember, Audi's race has gone horribly since that off-track excursion. And right now, Evan, now that these guys are formally a lap down, I mean, one of them wants to be in the free pass position just in case. So do they almost have a little mini race within themselves?
They are.
Yes, they are. To the inside, got shoved down on the apron there is Audi, whose race has really been chaotic. But as I was just about to say, and they answered it for me, 3 cars, 1 lap down. One of them wants to be the free pass. And actually 4 cars is Frank Morales in the 97. He is also 1 lap down. He needs to stay with these guys and try to be in that battle. That's if we even get a caution, which at this point, Evan, isn't seeming rather prominent.
Yeah, we got a good battle going on for that free pass spot. Milbacher holds it. Robbie Audi trying to get it out there on the outside with no help. But these guys are racing for this lucky dog spot like it's for the win.
Because, I mean, you're not going to get the benefit of the free pass, I mean, of the waiver on, rather, because everyone's going to need to pit. So, here they go, contact. Down to the apron, the 61 and the 44. That's the free pass spot. Who's it going to go to?
No caution.
Frank Morales is going to be in the position. And again, his second off-track excursion of the race goes to Robbie Audi. Let's go back and check that out real quick.
Milbacher and Audi both saving it. Looks like Audi just tried to get down to the inside of Milbacher, and Milbacher just kind of threw a block when he was already down there.
Yeah, he was there. The lane was there for Audi, and hell of a
Nobody just tried to block it too late, but that was a great job by those drivers to save that.
Evan, I may have to take back my Good Hands of the Race award. I do think that save by the 61 may have trumped the one Audi made earlier. I'll get you, but you could take a view at it.
Oh, man, he almost spun that thing around, and then I thought he was going to come back up and kind of take care of, or slide back up on the track and spin it out there, but he managed to hang on to it, and another good save by Audi as well. So.
Yeah, Evan, I'm giving it to the 61. That's the Good Hands move of the race right there.
Yeah.
That's going to Milbacher. But look at how he slide up the track there. I don't know. Can we cut the trophy in half and give it to both of them? I don't know.
Yeah, they both deserve it. I mean, Audi, he had 2 good saves there. Milbacher had the 1, but looks like we did have some drivers come down
half
pit road.
the field, more than of the
some of the SMS guys.
Of the 7 we had on pit in the lead pack, we have I think 3 of them stayed out. Actually, we have Lemons and we have Justice, and then the second pack of 3 still on the track of Holder, Neer, and Campbell. So we'll wait to see Lemons and Justice come to pit road. They don't want to stay out too long. They're going to lose time just drafting with the 2 of them once the rest of the field has blended out of pit road.
And they're coming down this time.
And exiting the pits now is Mullis, and look at the gap that Mullis has over Morgan. And then you have Neer, Wood, and Tyler King lost a lot of time. So this is really going to be a segmented pack as we rejoin. But we'll see how good of a stop Lemons and Justice have and how they can manage to fare blending back out.
Looks like 4 tires on most of the field. Probably need that much fuel that they might as well take 4 tires.
Yeah, waiting to see Lemons drop the jack.
Yeah, Lemons. Did you just take 2 tires there?
13.3 on my end, so 14.
Yeah, just 2 left side tires for
Now
Lemons.
Mullis is at start finish right now. So we're trying to wait and see where Mullis is going to be in relation to Lemons in the 70. I think I can actually pull it up with my fancy track map graphic right now. Yes, I can. Look at me in technology. The 70 on the back straightaway, you can see the gap there between the 2 of them live. So a little bit of time to come, but it looks like they are going to get there just by pure numbers alone. They will have that. They're only 1 second or so back right now, and oh, look at that momentum. They're going to blow right past him.
Another thing on Lemons, he took 2 left side tires there, and then on his first stop, I believe he didn't take any tires, so those right side tires are the ones he started this race on, and he's going to have to finish this race on them as well.
As a whale?
As well.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. But we'll have to see if handling does come into play with an issue there on that 70.
Yeah, again, it depends how he has that thing set up. If he has it set up to be able to kind of run those long stretches, or if, again, in the next 35 laps he is going to have issues. We talked about Tyler King in that 0-2 not being able to stay with the pack. He is by himself, again, in the SMS machine in that Toyota. He's dropped back, so now we are down to 6 in the lead draft, and well, just looking at schemes alone, Evan, we have 2 SMS trucks. I see, how many Ford trucks do we have up there? I think we have 2. And I see a Moats Auto, and trying to see the tail end there, but either way, however,
I believe that's a Phase 2 Motorsports truck at the tail end of the fact with Tyler Justice, so.
Yeah, again, and they take, so teams in this league, as I've been talking to the admin, as there is someone expiring their engine there on the back straightaway. Teams are very important here in this league. They almost take the team standings. That's Troy Cook of the 21 who's expired his engine. Team standings are almost more important, or as I've been told, than the driver standings. So these guys really take teamwork to the nth degree to make sure that their team does well overall. Of course, the driver standings is very important. You still, I mean, Evan, you know, we care about our team, Primetime Racing, when we're on the track together, but ultimately we will do whatever we can do to beat each other. That's still a thing, but definitely expect to see those team trucks work with each other. But the disadvantage that they all have, Evan, is, as we said, 6 trucks. It's 3 on 3, so no line is going to have the advantage because, well, it's an even number of trucks up here.
yeah, I'm going to be watching for those two SMS trucks of Blake Neer and Gabe Boyd. They're lined up in 3rd and 4th right now. I'm going to be watching for them to maybe try and make a move here, and probably going to wait another 10-15 laps, but I believe that is going to where the move is going to start. We'll just have to see if those Barber Ford trucks do decide to go with them and see how that all plays out.
All right, so we are on 23 laps to go. We're going to step aside just for a couple laps on a quick final side-by-side break, and we'll be back with you for the exciting finish, so please stay with us.
The last thing you want to do is have you go on track and crash into another car. Once you're in your test session, click on the Options button. You will then see Input Calibration. This is where your calibration takes place. Start by clicking on the steering button. You will then be prompted to turn your wheel fully one direction and then another. Make sure you place your wheel back into its centering position before hitting done. Now, you'll be asked to turn your wheel 90 degrees to the left. Make sure it's at 90 and hold it there while hitting done. For pedals, click on the pedals button. Here you'll be asked to press the throttle all the way down and then release it. You'll do the same for the brake and clutch pedal if you have one. For the gearbox, you'll first be asked to set buttons for sequential shifting. Once complete, a prompt will ask if you have a H pattern shifter. If not, hit no. If yes, click it and you'll begin to map the gears individually. Once you've completed these steps, you are calibrated and ready to go racing.
And welcome back to PTR TV's coverage of the Dreamer Racing Series here for the Daytona 200. Currently leading is Jimmy Mullis. Still a couple guys up in the outside lane trying to get something working, but haven't been able to have anything happen yet, with only 2 of them up there and 4 on the bottom. But coming to under 28 laps to go now, so we'll have to see when are these guys going to decide to make their move.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find that out, Evan. As we said, the field up front has fizzled down to just 6 drivers, so we know there's some team orders, not team orders, but there are some team work going on up front, which is really going to kind of come into effect, and I think there's going to have to be some kind of cross-team co-opetition, I think DW branded it. There's just 2 trucks working, the top is not going to come into effect, and someone is going to have to make a serious move on that number 46/96 of Jimmy Mullis. So it's just going to be, Evan, who's going to work with who, and there's not any teammate of the 96 in that group up front, so he is not going to have any help in terms of that, but we'll see how dedicated that number 112 is to staying behind him.
Yeah, Mullis and Justice are the two lone wolves up there with no teammates. And then they got the SMS trucks and the Barber Fords up there with them. So we'll have to see who decides to go with who. And at the moment, everyone's just kind of riding, staying calm, but only 17 laps to go. At some point, they are going to have to make a move.
Yes, they are. And again, with this, if there was more Truck 7 in the field, if there was upwards of, you say, 10, 15 drivers in this pack, I'd say you'd probably start making your move now, setting yourself up for that good position to be in. But I think the stakes have kind of changed a little bit with the amount of drivers we have in the field right now, well, rather just in this pack. I feel like with 6 drivers, probably 3 to 4 to go. I'd say you don't want to go too early, but if you're going to try to make that outside work, you kind of have to give it enough time to get wound up.
Yeah, like you said, with only 6 trucks up here, you can definitely wait a lot longer than if we were in, say, a 20 truck pack and you're in like 15th. But if you're in 6th, you can still wait to probably 5 to go at the earliest if you really want to try and make your move.
Yeah, 5 to go is probably a good bet. We have the SMS trucks of the Wood and the 14 of Near, 3rd and 5th right now. So expect them to work together. And then again, we have the 2 machine of, or rather the 112. I saw there was a 2 in the name. The 112, the Barber Ford machine of Devin Morgan. And I think it's a loose companionship with the 70 of Lemons. So maybe they will have some kind of, I guess I said, co-opetition, if you will. But, I mean, it's a plate track, so at the end of the day, you could try to work together all you want, but it's going to come into effect of, it's just wherever people are, you have to help that person, because that's who's right in front of you.
Yeah, because right now Morgan is in 2nd, and then Lemons is back in 6th, so 3 trucks in between them. But now we see a few guys starting to take a look to the outside. A couple of the SMS trucks taking a look up there. We'll see if they can make it work. And now Lemons up there with them.
Well, I'll make a correction. Lemons is DRS Express. It is DRS Barber Ford. So again, slight co-opetition perhaps between those 2 teams just by the names alone. But again, we'll see what's going on up front. As we said, no surprise who's working together up top, but the numbers are not in their favor. It's going to take someone from that inside to go up to the top, and I think if anybody, it's going to be that 112, but again, he's stuck because the 14 of Near is to his outside, so he's not even going to have the opportunity at the moment to do anything, and that 96 is just going to be mirror driving, making sure that there is no run, and if there is, we'll see if he jumps to the top.
So yeah, we're going to have to see here. Now, Lemons up there behind them, so 3 versus 3. 3 top 3 on the bottom. We'll see which lane is going to be able to prevail. Right now, the outside lane has a pretty good run. They're side by side with Mullis right now. And we'll see who can pull ahead and which lane will prevail. Right now, it's looking pretty even.
Yes, it is. And now that we have Lemons up there on the top of the racetrack right now, it is 3 on 3, and the push job from Gabe Wood is overpowering the push job from Morgan to the inside. That 14 has 3/4 of a truck length clear over the number 96 machine, the number 46 machine, excuse me, of Mullis. And I think I think he's going to get it at the stripe is the 14. He's going to get it at the stripe. He's not going to be able to clear. And if he does, when is he going to drop? He's clear right now. He's clear right now. He's no longer. He stays up top with his teammate.
Yeah, at this point, coming to 11 laps to go next time, you're going to kind of have to start racing for yourself. And now 4 trucks up there in the outside lane. Only Mullis and Morgan down on the bottom. That's going to allow the outside top 2 to clear. Now
here
the
comes
SMS
Wood to the bottom. Gabe Wood to the bottom. Well, he didn't have the momentum to clear, but he got to the bottom to be able to leave Lemons out to dry. Now it's going to be Lemons and Justice to the top of the racetrack. Morgan's going to try to get up there as well. Kind of, again, shifting the order of operations here up front, showing that you can make passes. People will be willing to make moves as they see fit.
Now 5 trucks down in the inside lane. Lemons the only truck up there on the outside.
Morgan dropping back by about 3 truck lengths. I hope he's not losing the draft. He does have a little bit of damage. I think he may be able to catch on to the back of the 70 who's just dropped back, as we do have somebody going yet another lap down.
It's a 79 of Alex Bailey. Going to be 36 laps down now.
Yeah, just turning some laps, trying to get hold on to that position. He may be able to pass Brent Keith on the racetrack for another position, so every point does matter as we come in. We are now within 10 laps to go right now. Everyone's single file to the bottom, and now it's going to be hard, Evan. You have two team trucks up front, 1 and 2. You kind of know who's going to help out who, but you know Gabe Wood wants to go for the win. Just a matter of time before he has to look at his mirror and decide when to make a move.
And looking to the outside is Jimmy Mullis. And that Moats Auto Exchange truck. Taking a look to the outside. Not going to have anyone to go with him right now. But he is taking a look, and he's actually got a pretty good run. Going to pull side by side with the 00, but has no help up there.
Yeah, not at all. And the 7 of Justice is the next one in line, and he's going to leave him out to dry. Mullis, who has led the most laps tonight. I think that may be a reason why people don't want him up front. If he gets up front, may be a little bit too hard to pass. So get him out of contention for the win, or maybe in Doug Lemon's case, he's the one that's right in front of you, so I have to push him to the win regardless of whether I want to or not. And he gave him a surge to go side by side with the 00. That 14 had to get off the bottom a little bit, kind of moved up and tried to take the momentum off the outside of the racetrack. But he's going to come off corner number 2, stick right to the bottom as the 14. The 96 up top is going to try to get the run. Here comes the 14 with a block up top. Wood to the bottom with the help from Justice. Just the 2 of them. The 96 looking for a 3 wide. Has to back off and stay in line.
Oh, Doug Lemon's loose. Through 3 and 4, going to hang on to that truck. But that's going to cost Blake near the lead. Now just 2 trucks up there in the outside lane.
Yeah, and that was the 7 as well of Justice also got loose there. I think these guys may be just getting loose naturally, as we've seen a couple times, and also drivers getting loose just at this point in the run with the tires going, and maybe even hitting that apron, a culmination of things. And again, look at Doug Lemons, as you said, Evan. He's lost a lot of time. I think he's good enough. He's only about 3/10 off. Should be able to get back into it. And these guys very much need that drafting help up front.
Yeah, right now just a couple of 2-truck tandems, 112 of Morgan and the 7011's a little bit further back. But Mullis is doing a really nice job of pushing Blake near right now, but I'm just kind of concerned if Mullis is going to overheat his engine, because he was locked on the bumper, the 14 there for the whole back straightaway, so he could be starting to get kind of hot here.
Yes, he is, and again, you have to dip out of line just a little bit. He's locking bumpers right now. That's where the speed's going to be made. You're just doing that tandem style drafting, and look at him just pull the right side out just a little bit. That's getting air. That's not trying to make a pass. That's just getting air.
Caution.
And
that's not going to end the race.
It is not. What's the cause?
Makeeng.
Yeah, he has expired an engine.
In the second pack here, just got loose.
3rd time tonight, I believe we saw that.
Yeah, a lot of drivers just struggling with handling on corner entry here, especially in the 3.
Yeah, he kind of washed up the track a little bit when he went high. I think maybe to avoid something going on. We'll go on board with him.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of got tight entering the corner, and then put some more wheel in it to not hit the wall, and then as soon as he put more wheel into it, it just got loose.
Yeah,
and then tried to correct it to the right and overcorrected it, which is so easy to do here.
So that's going to put us in a window of we're on 6 to go now. We're catching the pace car on the back straightaway. Typically a caution takes 4 laps, so we are going to have pretty much a green-white checker. At best 3 laps to go, and at worst it'll be a 1-lap shootout.
So between 3 and 1 laps.
Yes. Which brings me to something that is going to be very exciting in the NASCAR realm of the world, and also probably the dirt car side of things, and not sure how it is used on other road course side of racing in the world. But after years and years and years, Tony Loose Lips Gardner did say that it is very likely, I think very optimistic was the exact verbiage, that green-white checkers officially will be coming to iRacing. If you're watching this live, in the June build, which is only a couple weeks away. So,
and we have a car around on the backs or the front stretch out of 4.
do we now?
We do. The 61 of James Millbacher.
And he's taking the immediate trip to the garage area. Oh.
It looks like he put it in the wrong gear and his engine expired and he went around.
Yep, so interesting, but I think while we have a good amount of pacing left, Evan, I think we may be able to grab one of these guys and see what he's thinking for a very quick run to the checkers. So let's grab your leader while we're at it. Let's grab Gabe Wood in the 00. All right, Gabe Wood, PTR TV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, so it was a hectic start to the race, and then we had a couple big ones and kind of spreaded the field out. And then we had a long green flag run. You had 6 of you guys, your SMS teammate up there, Blake Neer. You guys got to the front. Now we're looking at likely a green-white checker. So you don't got to tell me, but you guys got a plan, or is it just going to be just block whatever comes your way?
It's Daytona. I mean, you can make any plan you want, and then God laughs. I got my teammate there on my outside, so I think we're just going to try and control this for the final couple laps. But it's been a tough race tonight, man. This thing, the setup we got in this thing, after about 15 laps, it gets a little crazy. So
yeah. I was just going to ask you that one quick question, man, but we'll let you go get back to it. But we've seen, as you just said, a lot of guys getting loose on entry, spinning up by themselves. Is handling really that much of a factor tonight?
It was that last run, but me, Blake, and the rest of the guys that we're working with here through some private channels, we made some air pressure changes, and it really helped us out. So I think we got us a good setup here for the final few laps.
All right, Gabe. Well, you got the lead. You got about 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go, whatever it happens to be. So good luck, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as Gabe just said there, Gabe Wood, not 00. These guys, kind of alliances outside of the team world here and helping each other out. So again, that's just the beauty of the open setup world, Evan, is if you're not handling right with what you got in the car there, well, in the truck rather, there are some things you can do to help your cause out.
But usually when I try and do those things, it makes it worse.
Yeah, I can't say.
Which is why I stick to fixed setup racing.
Right. I mean, my age-old adage with screwdrivers, lefty loosey, righty tighty. I think that applies to maybe one aspect of a race car. So, again.
Yeah, right rear wedge that applies to, and that's about it.
And that's about as much as I know. I think, but again, these guys, they take their time, and especially we have driver Jimmy Mullis, Peak Antifreeze Series driver. I mean, those guys spend hours on hours, and a lot of guys taking hundreds of laps over the course of the week, just giving their inputs and their fine tuning. And one click of this is too much, 2 clicks is not enough. You have to get that perfect setup. But with all the dynamics in iRacing, Evan, now that have changed,
did you just say that 1 click is too much and 2 is not enough?
Yeah, you know what I meant. Whale, then. What did you say earlier? Yeah.
Whale.
Yeah. But again, the dynamics in iRacing now that have really taken these setup adjustments to the next level with the dynamic track, the day to night, it really brings that real life authenticity, Evan, that makes iRacing so great. Is you have to just ever adjust to the changing conditions.
Yeah, track temp has gone down about 2 degrees since when we started, so that's gonna have a bit more grip out there, and for some people it could make their car or truck a little bit freer. And so we'll just kind of have to see, and we're going to be out here on old tires, 25 laps on most of these guys. And then we look at Doug Lemons. I mean, he's still on the right side he started this race on. So he could have some real handling issues here, but maybe once get him cooled down, that could help him out. We'll just kind of have to see.
Yeah, but again, something to note is it's not just 6 trucks now. There were some trucks in the field that had no damage, just lost their track position. Ryan Campbell, Brad Neer, Rob Slider, those guys are going to be up here. So it's going to be about 10 trucks now, realistically, that'll be up to speed for this green-white checker. And remember, we have to get to the white flag. If we have a caution before we get to the white flag, the race is over. Once we get to the white flag, It's anything goes. The yellow flag gets thrown away, and we will get to the checkers one way or another. So very important to see if we can get that first lap completed and get ourselves a 2-lap run to the checkers. Gabe Wood in the 00 is going to be leading him down with his teammate of Blake Neer to the outside. We have Jimmy Mullis on the outside of row 2 with Tyler Justice to the inside. Mullis has led most of this race, but if he's going to want to take it home, he's going to have a little bit of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. So Evan, get us down for the final restart of the evening.
Coming out of turn 4, now on to the front straightaway. Getting ready for the pace car. There goes down into pit lane. Now Gabe Wood taking off a bit early. Going to clear the 14 of his teammate, Blake Neer. We'll see if Neer can drop down in line behind him. Not going to be able to, as he still has a checker on his inside. Yeah,
I have to imagine the 14 and the 00 tried to coordinate something to get the 14 in line behind him, but that plan failed. The 96 with a push from the given the push to the 7, he's going to force his way. The 7 of Justice forces his way to the inside of Wood. Wood to the outside, but he has his teammate to the outside pushing him.
And cars around on the backstretch. Caution is going to be out. Tyler Justice is going to win this race.
That was a thing in the wise words of Brandon Krutz. These guys were really...
Not so wise words, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not so wise words. But let's go back and check it out. Tyler Justice, who, I mean, hasn't been up... He's been up front in the lead pack the most of the race. Never actually really showed any leading happen, but he's going to end up being in the position you need to be in at the end, and just kind of seeing what to follow here at the tail end of this pack from the chopper cam. We're watching.
Have you ever seen a bump and run at Daytona?
Not really. Yeah, it was at the back of the pack there. The 112 and the 70 got into each other's quarter panel there, sent them around, but it ended up being what needed to happen for these guys to pull away up front and for Justice to be able to get it. The 14 in Neer, the 70, and the 112, and I think Brad Neer involved in well in the 9 machine. So, but again, going up to the front, Tyler Justice. I mean, you don't have to lead every single lap to win a race. What was our number 1 key of the race, Evan?
Survival. And Tyler Justice survived.
He will have led a whopping total of 2 laps in today's Daytona 200, but he led the proper 2 laps. He took that number 7 truck and brought it home in one piece and happened to be in the right place at the right time. Pretty much did everything that we said he needed to get done as a key of the race. And he did it successfully, and that is going to put him in victory lane here tonight. That number 7 machine of Tyler Justice is going to come through the tri-oval at an amazing 80 miles an hour, and he is going to win today's race.
And coming home in second was the 96 of Jimmy Mullis, and third, 00 of Gabe Wood.
Yep, so that is going to be the finishing order here tonight at Daytona. We offer our congratulations to, again, that number 7 truck of Tyler Justice for the Phase 2 Motorsports, leading, again, 2 laps from the 6th starting position. Again, Daytona, Evan, we can't say it enough. You get yourself in the right spot at the right time. We saw that restart. The 2 SMS trucks couldn't get themselves lined up the way they wanted to, and it just forced them to be in a bad position. They got outside, or they got kind of single filed out where they wanted to be, and I mean, we just saw a guy want to win the race, just kind of make sure he had his lane to get to the front. So we'll let these guys kind of run their time, run their pace now, and get cooled down after the race, and let's give you the final rundown here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. Winning this race here tonight is the number 7 machine of Tyler Justice, and then finishing in the second position, Jimmy Mullis in the number 46 machine. Finishing in the third spot tonight is going to be Gabe Wood, leading 7 laps. Let it down there with 2 to go. Couldn't quite take it home. In fourth, it's going to be Ryan Campbell. In fifth, it's going to be Brandon Holder. 6th, Rob Slider. Blake Neer in 7th. Devin Morgan in 8th. Brad Neer in 9th. And then Doug Lemons in the 10th spot.
And coming home in the 11th position, we have the 97 of Frank Morales, and 12th, the 02 of Tyler King, 13th, 61 of James Millbacher, 14th, the 44 of Robbie Oddie, and 15th, the 24 of Grant Brown, and then the rest of the top 20, Troy Cook, Alex Bailey, Brent Keith, Perry Snelson, and 20th, Dustin Slider.
And then rounding out your field here tonight, Mark Love in 21st, Chris Canfield in 22nd, Ryan Blanchard in 23rd. Then rounding out your field, Doc Stout, Sean Powell, John Houston, and Ryan Matthews. David Greenslet was your admin here tonight in the race. So I think we have everyone that we need to talk to, Evan, for post-race interviews, and we'll start at the top of the pylon here tonight. I think you have caught up with tonight's winner.
All right, Tyler, you come home with the win here tonight at Daytona, winning the season opener. Well, what was it like out there for you?
It was a crazy race, man, to tell you the least. There was a lot of wrecks I had to dodge there to get through to even have a shot at the end there. I felt like our truck had some speed in it. I definitely didn't feel like it had winning speed in it, but the right circumstances played out there at the end, and we were able to bring it home. I didn't have any teammate help. My teammate Sean got wrecked out there pretty early, but we were able to work our way up through there and just stay in contention when it really mattered, and it all played out, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah, and most of the race, you're just kind of hanging around there in the top 10 or so, just kind of last car in line in that 6-car pack. Was that kind of by design, or could you just not get out there and get by them?
Honestly, when they were hooked up together up there, I really couldn't do nothing. I mean, I could pull and suck up a little bit, but I couldn't. If I tried to get on the outside and push someone, we wouldn't go anywhere. I couldn't push anybody. I couldn't go anywhere. So I was just hanging out and around top 10, like you said, and was just trying to bide my time and wait until the end to try to make a move. And luckily, it all panned out for me. I couldn't be more excited.
All right, and then on that final restart there, you restarted in third, and what was kind of going in your head there on that restart, and then going down into turn 1 where you kind of got into the 0-0 got a bit loose, and I never seen a bump and run at Daytona, but that was pretty impressive. You just got him a bit loose and was able to get by him. Did you kind of think that was going to work, or what was the deal with that?
Honestly, I didn't plan it out that way at all. I mean, I had Jimmy right on my bumper, and if I would have lifted, we probably would have wrecked the field. So I just squared up on the 0-0 the best I could have, and gave him a shove, and I was hoping it wasn't gonna mess him up too bad, and he got a little loose and slid up the banking, and I was able to get underneath him and pull out with the lead there. I didn't mean to bump him out of the way. Like I said, I definitely didn't plan to do that, but I had another car right on my bumper, and if I would have lifted, I felt like I would have wrecked the field right there. So just tried to do the best I could there, and luckily it all worked out.
Yeah, really nothing you could have done in that situation, but is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to after your win here at Daytona?
Yes, sir. I want to thank all my teammates at Phase 2 Motorsports. I want to give a shout out to Amsoil for being on the car as always, and I want to thank everybody who put this thing together and let me run it. It's hopefully going to be a good season for us, and thank you guys, you up in the booth.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and good luck next week.
Thank you, sir.
And then Corey has caught up with second place finisher Jimmy Mullis.
All right, Jimmy, it's you led a lot of laps here tonight, and it was kind of a dynamic race. We saw a lot of wrecks and exciting action up front, and then we had all those wrecks, and then we kind of had that single file spread, and a lot of guys just, 6-7 cars in the pack, and then it came down to that green-white checker. So, I mean, all in all, you led a lot of laps. You finished second. How do you wrap up tonight's race?
I mean, it was a lot of fun tonight. Daytona is always pretty wild, so those first few cautions were a little frustrating, but once we got some green laps going and got that green flag pit stop in, it was honestly a lot of fun. I wasn't sure how many trucks we had up there, but I think, or at least I feel like we put on a pretty good show tonight, hopefully, and I'm just glad to be done with this place.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys with Daytona, you start a season off here, you kind of wait for the next race we were talking about in the booth as the real start of the season, but I mean, just kind of talk us through how the truck felt tonight. We saw quite a bit of drivers here tonight, even getting loose on corner entries. If you guys had these trucks yawed out just for maximum speed, not a lot of downforce built into the setups here. Did you fight any kind of handling issues tonight, or was that just kind of that thing just kind of on rails and just the draft didn't work out in your favor?
I mean, as the run went on and the tires wore out, I was starting to get a little bit loose, but it wasn't nearly as bad as most of the guys that I was, running with tonight. I had a lot of people complaining about being really loose and stuff, so not really sure why it was so loose, but personally when I was out front, I was okay. And then the second part of that fuel run, when I was in the draft, I was, all right. I was a little free, but definitely not as bad as they were complaining about. But yeah, overall the truck was really good. Like you said, led a lot of laps, which is what we come here to do. So hopefully can do one spot better next week.
Yep, and you guys head to Iowa. Obviously a short track, multiple grooves there with the dynamic banking. So you think you'll be able to put on a show for them next week? I
sure hope so.
All right, so anyone you want to give a shout out to for your second place finish tonight, Jimmy?
Yeah, just want to give a quick shout out to Moats Auto Exchange for sponsoring our team, and thanks to Grant Brown for helping out with the entry fee and things like that. Patriot Marketing Services, DRS, Dustin for all he does with the league, you guys for doing the broadcast, Sim Seats, Richmond Raceway, Sunoco, and Lockdown Racing. Again, thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. Really appreciate it.
Yep, thank you, sir. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
And then third place finish, Evan has caught up with Gabe Wood.
All right, Gabe. Well, that race was looking a lot better for you before that final caution came out, but let's kind of walk us through your race and what all happened for you.
Really interesting one. I mean, my strategy always here at Daytona and Talladega is, spend the first half of the race at the back, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I got pushed up to the front near there behind my teammate, and I took it 3 wide, went to the back, and 2 or 3 laps later, right where I was, there was the big wreck, and so I was able to miss a couple of them tonight. I was able to put myself in position, and then we had the pit stops worked out. We just kind of ran single file. I kind of wish that last caution hadn't come out. Really wish the final caution didn't come out, because I thought me and Blake would have had something there on the outside lane. I kind of got a hard hit from the 7 behind me, but he had Jimmy right behind him. There was no way he could have known. So I took a shot and walked my way up the racetrack.
Yeah, and did you kind of have coming in? Did you have a plan coming into this race, like when you were going to be coming down pit road and had all that figured out? 2 tires, 4 tires, what you were going to do on that? No, not really. We figured it out pretty much like lap number 40. We were going to come down at 52, just kind of split the stint halfway, because we realized we could have made it on fuel, and the question of 2 tires versus 4 pretty much solved itself after our cars got loose. So we changed 4, and like I said, under caution, made some pressure changes. So no, there was really no question about 4 tires after we saw how loose the cars were. Yeah, that really was kind of strange, seeing how many handling issues were out there. Do you think that's just something with how these trucks were set up, just trying to get as much speed out of them as possible? It was just kind of sacrificing handling for speed?
Oh yeah, and I mean, you'll see this in real life. I mean, we go down to Daytona testing every year. If you have a tight car, you have a slow car. So, when they say loose is fast, they really mean it here at Daytona.
All right, next week we're going to Iowa, which is a lot different than Daytona, but how do you feel about that race going into it?
Iowa's one of my favorite tracks. It's going to be my first race there with an open setup, so that'll be kind of different. But I think we got a pretty good shot going in there.
All right, well, is there anyone you'd like to thank or wish out to you after your third place finish?
Yeah, I want to thank Todd Kirkwood. This is his race team. I want to thank Kirkwood Transportation, Sim Marketing Solutions, Splash and Go Graphics, all in the car here, and they support me and Blake both. So I had a good teammate behind me and in front of me for this whole race, so I want to thank him. And we'll roll on to Iowa, see what we can get.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and good luck next week.
All right, so that is our top 3 finishers here tonight from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International. As we wrap up tonight's coverage here on PTR TV, of course, want to give a shout out to all the viewers out there who have checked into tonight's coverage on YouTube and on Facebook. So make sure you like and subscribe to both if you have not. A lot more content coming your way on PTR TV. You do not want to miss it as we continue to grow and grow as the time goes by. But quick shout out to channel sponsors Air, Movement, and Fabrications, to Krutz Custom Graphics, as well as Fame Apparel. And of course, we couldn't do anything without the simulator iRacing, the original esport racing game. And it was the Dreamer Racing Series, race number 1, round number 1. The victory going to Tyler Justice here tonight. And next week we will be here, same time, same place, on Facebook and on YouTube at the Iowa Speedway. So things will be changing up at the short track in Newton, Iowa, for a good night of racing. You don't want to miss that. So again, mark your calendars and join us next week. It's Corey Silva and Evan Black signing out of the booth here tonight. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night. We'll see you next week.